Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. It is What If Isagi had Ultra Instinct Part 3. Seems like y'all been enjoying these Blue Lock What Ifs. Blue Lock has definitely revitalized my enjoyability for What Ifs for sure, and I've been enjoying them a lot. I've enjoyed What Ifs throughout this entire time, but not to the point of how I'm enjoying them right now, and how in the past I enjoyed Shield Hero What Ifs a while back, I believe probably like months ago. But I hope y'all enjoy the series. I got more to come, more series. I got a bunch planned out, ready to go. So with that said, let's get right into the What If and get right into where we left off. Let's get it. Isagi is ready for the match against Team V. Even Bachira is questioning why he's so serious and just intent on destroying this team. And Isagi says that it should infuriate him too. He mocks the sport they love so much. He mocks it. That guy, what is his name? Nagi? He just sits there and acts lazy and acts like the sport doesn't matter. I don't care if he's some prodigy. I don't care if he's so gifted at football that he doesn't even have to train. Isagi would begin to rant on as they're walking out onto the field, and Bachira, for the first time ever, is surprised. He's surprised that Isagi's reacting such a way. He's kind of worried. I mean, to the point that, is this going to hurt his own performance? Kunigami even steps in, saying that Isagi shouldn't have let this get to him. I mean, Nagi's only one person. They all love soccer. And Isagi looks at Kunigami and says that he knows they all love soccer. That's why he's tried his best and his absolute best to help them every step of the way. But this Nagi guy, he needs to learn a lesson. That you don't mock soccer. And of course, everyone is completely thrown back by this. The normally extremely happy, psyched out, and just calm Isagi is infuriated, pissed. He's livid, in fact. And everybody's sitting there or standing there and just watching him just be irate. Eventually, they would get to the field, and Isagi would be stone-faced, serious, and Reo would look over, and he would regard to Nagi that it seems that he got under the guy's skin. Maybe this is good for us. Reo would go over toward Isagi and ask if he's alright, but Isagi wouldn't say a word. He would just stare at Reo. Reo would back up and act kind of tough, saying that he hopes Isagi doesn't try to cheap shot Nagi or anything like that. And Isagi wouldn't say anything, standing there, silent. Bachira would snap toward him, saying that the game is about to start and he hopes he's ready. He would nod toward Bachira as if he's already completely locked in. Bachira would more or less kick the ball to Isagi off the bat, and he would become just a one-man wrecking crew. He begins to just cross and dip and dive and dodge everyone. Everyone is shocked. He's moving so fluidly. If there's 3 people around him, it's as if he knows every shortcut, every movement to go past. And eventually, Isagi's face to face with Nagi right in front of him. He would easily get by him, and Nagi would be shocked. What kind of guy is he? First goal would go to Isagi. Easily, too. Isagi would show them and show everyone that he's truly on a different level. Is that his intention? Maybe not. But it seems that his body has more or less listened to his mind, the anger that he has toward the idea that Nagi thinks he's so much better than soccer, so much better than football, the football he loves. Well, it's taking over now. His normal mindset, the calm, the relaxed, the no ego at all, is slowly but surely catching up to his body. His body's reactions, movements, and his actions entirely are full of an egotistical player, an egoist player. But his mind never was. But anger has crept in, and now his mind is on the same track. One goal, and Isagi's already feeling it. He can feel something that he hasn't felt before. He would back up, and he would wait for the defense the defense of his own team defenders to creep up just a little bit more. As they do, and Ryo gets the ball and looks for an easy outlet pass to either Zentetsu or Nagi. It seems that Isagi is already gambling right toward Ryo, but as Ryo kind of panics at the speed that Isagi is running at, Isagi would immediately bail off. What? How did he? Immediately though, someone else would come collapsing down. It's Raichi. Raichi played off of the distraction that Isagi created and steals the ball before Nagi can even touch it. Nagi's confused. How are they reacting so quickly? Raichi smirks and passes the ball back to Isagi. He says that it's now his turn to have some fun. I mean, he's been so nice this entire time. He's never seen the guy angry. He's excited. Isagi would go blitzing forward, Nagi not even be able to keep up, and Isagi can immediately tell that someone on the far left side is going straight down the sideline at insane speeds. Isagi would look up and he would look for the pass, but as he kicks, he actually digs his foot into the ground. He doesn't actually pass it. 3 to 4 defenders fall for the fake and he dribbles right by them, just like that. And from about 25 meters out, he would drill the ball in the top left corner of the goal. Everybody is shocked. Team V is already down 2 points. How? 2 goals, just like that. Isagi, how is he able to? Just as Ryo is about to tell them that they got to get their head on straight, Nagi, the presence of him can be felt from miles away. Ryo would look over. Nagi, are you okay? He looks toward Ryo. Just get me the ball. Just as he says this, Ryo would easily pass it into Nagi, and Isagi would look toward Nagi. Oh, so you're finally playing, are you? A game you don't even enjoy. Well, we'll see if you can get by me. Isagi would immediately put the clamps on Nagi. Nagi would try his best to get away. He would be forced to pass it up to Ryo and trying to more or less do a give and go, but Isagi reads this, blocking the ball. Nagi immediately would attack the ball once again, trying to use his overwhelming ball control to his own advantage, but it's so difficult. It's so hard for him to do anything. He can't stop Isagi. He can't stop him from doing what he wants. Isagi's movement would then put a spin move on Nagi. Nagi would go spinning and would see Isagi blitz by him. Ryo would yell out to Nagi to try and recover, and he would go for it as well. He would try his best. He tries entirely to recover, and he would eventually catch up, just in time. It seems that Nagi's about to actually steal the ball, but as he tries, well, Isagi does the weirdest pass they've ever seen. It's as if he stomps on the ball, and his back heel pops it in a certain direction. As he does this, it falls in the lap of Kunigami. Well, Blue Lock's superhero has just arrived. Isagi would look toward Nagi and smirk and say that a superhero of this game that they love is the one with the ball now. He kicks the ball 40, maybe almost 50 meters out, and he drills it through the goal. Everybody is taken back. Has their team really destroyed everybody to the point, well, that this fight or this battle, this match isn't even going to be fair? Isagi even tells them this, saying that they may have won every other match, and this match might not matter, but all he wants to do is embarrass them. And that's exactly what Isagi would do. He would make them look like jokes. Zentetsu may be trying to get open, trying to find his ways in and out and around Chiguri, but it felt as if there was no openings. He would cut to try to make space, cut to try to get any room at all, but if Chiguri wasn't there, someone else was filling in the gaps. It felt like they were just a well-oiled machine. All they were doing was feeding off of the energy Isagi was putting forward. And in terms of Nagi, well, he continues to want the ball to be fed toward him. he wants it, and eventually he would get the outlet pass he wanted this entire time. The pass would come soaring in for Nagi, Ryo launching the ball across the field, but as Nagi goes up to control it and sustain it, one person meets him in the sky, Isagi. Isagi would meet him up there, fighting Nagi as they fight for control over the ball. And Isagi, in his own mind, and even verbally to an extent, is telling Nagi that he's going to beat him at his own game. If this is what he's good at, well, he'll be better than him at it. And he shows exactly that. He shows how his instincts for football begin to take over, but as well as on top of that, his mind, an egotistical part of his mind, is now bringing even more out of his movements and even more out of his game. Nagi is shocked, but as he realizes that Isagi is trying to match him, he would evolve himself, kicking the ball backwards and then knocking it up mid-air with his other foot. Isagi would see this, and his body would already be reacting. He backfoots. He hits the back or his heel on the ball mid-air, and it flings the ball a different direction. Nagi's confused. He's never even shown himself to do that. He's never done that ever. How did he react to it? He's amazing. Nagi's just normal, serious face would then drift away, and a smile would begin growing on it. Ryo would be confused. Zantetsu would be as well. What is he smiling for? What is he so happy about? What is happening? Isagi wouldn't even realize anything that's going on. He would turn and see the ball recovered by Raichi. He would go sprinting down as Raichi would pass the ball up. He would signal to Raichi to continue to run, and he would deliver a pass so beautiful that nobody would even dare watch it, or nobody even would dare try to stop its momentum. It would float, and it'd be in a perfect position for Raichi to get his first goal. He scores and looks toward Isagi with a smirk, as if he knew he got his get back, that Isagi just allowed Raichi to score and allowed him to be entertained for himself. Isagi would line back up and just get ready for the next kickoff. Just get ready for whatever's to come now, and it's not even halftime yet. Nagi knows that he has to evolve, but if Isagi's going to evolve quicker than him, how is he supposed to do anything? He looks around, looking toward Ryo, Zantetsu. No, they have to do something. They have to... No. What is he? He looks around the field, and it's as if everybody else disappears, except for one person, Isagi. Isagi, the only one standing there staring toward Nagi, as if his eyes haven't left him this entire time. Nagi is standing there in shock. What is this guy? What is soccer for him? And what is it like playing with soccer with him? He's completely taken back. Isagi is a different monster. A completely different player. Nagi, though, his smile would grow as he continues to try and be competitive with Isagi. And Isagi would quickly realize that Nagi's love for soccer is slowly but surely shining through the cracks of his laziness. And quickly enough, Nagi would all get this urge, an overwhelming feeling of not only playing with Isagi side by side, but beating him. That's what he wants. Everything. His love for football all comes down to this. His love for soccer is this right here. Competition. Ryo was never able to deliver that to him. Yes, he was always seen as a prodigy, always allowed to do whatever he wanted, always allowed to do whatever he would like. But Isagi, he's taking all of that away. So, what could he give him if they were on the same side of the field? If they were playing together. As Nagi thinks about this and the idea overwhelms him, it's as if the entire game would pass by. The game would end up being a complete wash, a blowout. Nagi would just go through the motions, trying to evolve to beat Isagi, but there was no way to close that gap. There was no chance for him to even reach the level he was at. But he wants to know. He wants to know what that feels like. As the whistle would then sound, and Team V would lose by a whopping 12 points. And Isagi would score so many of those goals. He might have set up a couple of his teammates, but all of that pastime, that Nagi didn't know what was happening. And Nagi stood there as if the world was just on fast forward, as if it was just inevitable that Isagi's team would win. Well, he watched and he tried to beat Isagi the entire time, but all he did was score. There was no stopping him. Isagi was unstoppable, unbeatable. Isagi would eventually walk over toward Nagi. At the end of everything, he would walk over and say that it was a good game. I mean, at least to an extent. But he told him that he would make sure that they didn't have a chance in this game. Reo begins to walk over to get Isagi away from him, telling him to just go away. He already won the match, but Nagi would reach out and stop Isagi from leaving. Nagi, with a smile on his face, very odd-like for sure, he would say that, well, he wants to love soccer like Isagi loves soccer. This would take Isagi back. What are you talking about? You basically said that you didn't like soccer. You hated it. That as if you were just lazy. Only, what? You don't even make sense. Isagi can't even wrap his head around it. But Nagi would repeat it, saying that whatever the love he has for this game, the game they all play, he wants to feel that same love. He wants to be like Isagi. No, he wants to be better than him. He's not sure if it's possible, but he'll find out, and he'll make sure that he can find a way. And Isagi's confused, but then his emotions would settle down. He would nod toward Nagi, and he would say that a prodigy like himself probably never trained a day in his life. But imagine if he did. Imagine if he worked hard. He saw how much better he got throughout this game, and how much, himself he had to adjust. Now imagine if he works hard, trains hard, and eventually they step on the field together. Maybe, just maybe, Nagi could be the best football player to ever exist, the best striker to ever exist. But Isagi says that they may never know. Maybe. He doesn't know how to feel about Nagi at this moment. He can tell that he definitely persuaded Nagi with his, emotions and flat out his gameplay and how good he was on the field. But how much can he believe that Nagi wants to truly love this game that he loves so much? He walks away and he would begin to celebrate with his team. They would all begin to celebrate, and soon after the celebration, preparation for the second selection would begin. Ego has the remaining strikers undergo physical conditioning and frankly just strength enhancement in general. Everybody pushes themselves to the limit, including Isagi. Isagi wants to just make sure that he's up to par, up to the next status. And Nagi himself is doing exactly the same. He's pushing and just pushing himself harder than he's ever pushed himself before. These workouts may not be super difficult for him, but he doubles them. He makes it even harder for himself, triples them. And Reo thinks he's a maniac. He thinks he's insane. What is wrong with him? But still, there's nothing really that needs to be said about that, at least to an extent. And he wants to make sure that he's ready the next time he sees Isagi, either against him or with him. But Ego does more or less have the strikers undergo physical conditioning, and like I said, and eventually Ego would reveal that all the buildings at Blue Lock were actually labeled as Building 5 to get everybody to experience this inferiority, more or less saying that they were all the bottom of the barrel. He explains that the first selection was about understanding what being a striker is about, and he explains all of this. He says that having an ego is something that all of them must understand, but at the same time, they all must understand various different things on top of that. A formula for getting your goal at any time, and on top of that, how to utilize others to find exactly what you're looking for. Of course, after all the explanation, the second selection would be explained and told that it's basically just a series of individual talent or challenges in 5 stages, in which only teams of 5 strikers will make it through to the end. In the first stage, actually, it's something pretty interesting. It's some holographic Blue Lock man. Isagi would see this, and he would make really quick work of this holographic Blue Lock man. Even in the higher stages, they would have 90 minutes to score 100 goals, and Isagi would clear it relatively fast. Actually, he would clear it the fastest in Blue Lock. He would arrive, and nobody is even there yet. He would, when he was basically just standing there, he would begin thinking that it's probably good for him to wait for somebody that he knows. Maybe it's for the best if he waits for someone like Bachira. I mean, Bachira's always been a good friend to him so far. Yes, eventually, one person can only win, so they're going to have to go their separate ways eventually, but he would like him on his team. Same thing with Kunigami. Maybe he'll wait for him. Maybe he'll see him sooner rather than later. But the next person that actually comes in is someone he doesn't even recognize. He sees him walk in, and it's Rin. He learns of his name pretty quickly as he asks for it. I mean, Isagi's a very friendly person, but Rin would just say that he wants to be on a team with him, and he would be confused, saying that he doesn't even know the guy. Rin says it doesn't matter who they are or what they are, they're going to win anyways, so you might as well just get on his team. They need a team of 3, so you might as well just enter the same team and then head off to the next room, especially whoever's next to come out. Of course, Isagi is kind of taken back by this. Does he really want this to happen? I mean, he doesn't really know this person. He doesn't know him at all. So does he really want to be with him? He's not so sure. Frankly, it's kind of off-putting in a way. He's not so sure who he is, but he does know that Rin is extremely good. Rin would then look at his side, and he would see the badge on his arm. He would see that he's ranked number 2. But then he would realize something. He would look at Isagi. No way. It's you? Of course, Isagi would be confused. He would look at Rin and be in complete, confusion. And Rin would say that he doesn't look like someone that would be the number 1 in Blue Lock at the moment, saying that there's no way he's better than him. Now they have to be on the same team. Rin says that he's going to make sure Isagi watches from the stands as he becomes the best striker. And as he says this, someone from behind would say that he really shouldn't be that cocky. That it's kind of annoying, especially when directed at someone as nice as Isagi. And Isagi would look, and it's Kunigami. No way. You got here so quick, Kunigami. Kunigami would then kind of laugh. Why is it surprising? Do you really think so little of me? Isagi would respond and wave his hands that no, not at all. He's just happy he didn't have to wait very long to see a familiar face. And Kunigami would laugh, and he would say that, I mean, he is going to be the superhero of football, so he knew that he needed to take himself to the next level, ASAP. especially with someone like Isagi already standing so far in front of them. Isagi would nod his head and would ask him to be a team with him, and Kunigami would ask if he's on the same team as this guy right here. Rin would look over and shake his head. No, we're not on the same team together. I'll be waiting for other people. Isagi just shrugs this off, saying that he guesses that Rin wants to go against him. I mean, he is number 2, he'd probably want to go against number 1. Rin would be annoyed, and he would begin thinking, why is this guy so damn nice? This is just annoying. Eventually, someone else would come out, and it would be Nagi. Nagi would be the next person coming out, and there would be a new and improved Nagi coming out. It feels as if he's a different person. Even Kunigami realizes this. He says it. He says that Nagi just feels different. Nagi would arrive, and he would immediately go to Isagi. He would begin to absolutely plead for him to allow him to be on the same team as him. He wants to be on the same team. He wants to, whatever, he wants to evolve. He wants to get better. He wants to show him that he does love soccer. He wants to have the same love for soccer as him. Isagi stands there and Kunigami shrugs. He says that it's his call. He knows him and Bachira are pretty good friends, but if he believes that this is the best, well, and most suitable thing, maybe he should do it. Isagi would stand there. He's not sure what to do. Should he go with Nagi and Kunigami, or should he wait for Bachira and go him, Bachira, and Kunigami? He's standing there. He doesn't know. What should he do? More people begin to come in, more and more and more. And eventually Bachira would arrive as well. And he would arrive earlier than usual too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bachira has evolved himself as well. Actually, evolved quicker than most people. But he's not necessarily a striker. I mean, he's a master at dribbling the ball, but he's not a striker in the sense of a dynamic scorer, in terms of just being able to shoot from anywhere on the field. But you can kind of say relatively something similar for Nagi. But to be fair, they really haven't seen much out of Nagi. So maybe that's why he thinks that. But he could tell Nagi is a prodigy. And if all of this is true, if everything is true about how much he's done and what he's done so far, well, maybe it's good to go if he goes against Nagi. But he's sitting there. He's not so sure. Should he really go against or go with Nagi instead of Bachira? Kunigami would tell him that it's up to him, and even Bachira would say that he's happy with whatever decision that Isagi decides to make. And Isagi would stand there. He watches as Ryo even enters as well, and he watches as Rin walks off with 2 other people he doesn't recognize. So either Nagi or Bachira. He looks toward Bachira and then back to Nagi. Well, Nagi, I think our little excursion and your want to play with me is gonna have to wait a little bit longer, because my loyalty is to Bachira and Team Z. Kunigami and Bachira would both smile, and they would begin to walk toward the door. Nagi says that he'll play against him. If they play against each other, he's going to win. And he's going to make sure to win. Ryo is shocked. What? This guy? What is wrong with Nagi? I mean, he's so emotional right now. He's pushing and pushing and pushing. That's all he wants to make sure that he can play against Isagi. But the thing is, he might not be able to. He might not ever be able to. There's a good chance. But you never know. Maybe, just maybe, the time would come. But Isagi, Bachira, and Kunigami would enter, and they would begin to more or less look forward to who they're going against. Of course, when they walk through, the first person or the first people Isagi would see is Rin and two others. Two very, very high level people as well. And these people are no joke, no slouch. Actually, the furthest from it. Rin, Junpei, and Tokimitsu. They're standing there waiting for someone to challenge them. Isagi would look toward Kunigami and Bachira and ask them if they want to take on the challenge of them. And they would look at each other, and as they're about to step forward and take on that challenge, someone from behind him grabs onto his shoulder. He grabs him by that shoulder and tells him that he challenges Isagi. He turns, and it's Nagi with a team of himself, Ryo, and Chiguri. He's shocked. That quick, huh? You really wanted this, game against me. And Nagi would assure him that he wanted the game badly. Rin would walk over and say that it's not that simple. He wants to challenge Isagi as well. He wants to make sure he takes him down and takes his number one spot. And, of course, here's another dilemma. He has another dilemma to do. Does he take on Rin in the first round, take on the number 2, and take on the challenge of taking on this 3-man powerhouse, and allow Rin to try and prove what he's truly worth? Or does he take on the team of Nagi, Ryo, and Chiguri first and see what Nagi has in store for him this time around, and see if he's truly ready to evolve? Well, you'll have to find out what offer Isagi accepts in the next part and the finale of What If Isagi Had Ultra Instinct. And if you enjoy, if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And yes, the next part will be the finale. I'll be covering the matches and also the World 5 match as well, and then we will end the series. I know some of you want me to go into the next, at least into the U20, but I have not read the manga. I will eventually read the manga, and I know a lot of you really want me to. And I think even if I read the manga, the farthest I'll ever go is the U20. I don't want to go anything beyond that because it's not fully finished and done with. But with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.